People are asleep, it's only once they die they're awoken. As your loved ones start to weep and the hearts are finally broken, tears fall with emotion, but no omens or potent potions can stop your last breath as your words are finally spoken. As he lies on his deathbed, struggling to breathe his last, he thought he was immortal, but seriously, he weren't that smart, and none of his dollars and dinars could recompense for a life he's about to depart. On his last breath, he gasps alongside the last beats of his heart. He sees angels approaching him further than the eyes can see from far, and as he sees their faces that look menacing, gloomy, dark, around the dying demise that the malaika surround him at large, he's terrified, scared, shivering, he shakes and starts, and at the head of the dying, Malikul Maut emerges and distinctly remarks, "Foul soul, come out to the wrath and anger of Allah." The dying sighs and gasps, the ruh ripped and dragged like a skewer pulling wet wool apart, and as his sudden discharge is taken by other angels out of his clasp, and then the soul is wrapped in stench cloth with a smell so harsh like of a rotten corpse, so wretched that you couldn't physically imagine and grasp. The ruh now departs and a sea of company of angels ahead, and they look at the ruh with a look of dread. Who is this foul soul? They ask and check. He's the son of so-and-so, the son of so-and-so is loudly read, and they call the soul from the profanities in which he was known and expressed. These are given to this wretched ruh that had clearly digressed. And so when the gates of Jannah are met, and he sees their magnificence as in the heavens they are set, and as the soul reaches the doors, he yearns to enter and just to overstep, and just as he feels he will reside the life of eternal rest, the gates are shut in his face, his deeds were clearly inept, and then his Lord the majestic Allah the merciful and blessed addresses the soul that spent his whole life transgressed. Register his book in Sijin in the lowest earth, that is what is said. The ruh is fled, flung down in the body of the dead, and the final mourner's tears are wept. The mud is filled in the grave and set, and as he hears his friends walk away by their footsteps and treads, inside the tomb angels await with questions to be read. They look fearsome, hideous, and with a look of dread, and they sit up to the deceased. "Who is your Lord?" is said. "I do not know." The soul confused shakes his head. "What is your deen?" "I do not know," is said instead. "And who was the man that sent amongst you?" Puzzled, there is nothing from his life he can recall. The answers are not prepped. "I don't know," frantically he states in the moment of sweat. He hears from the heavens the voice of the blessed. "My slave has spoken falsely, so open the door of the hellfire." So a door is flung open within his tomb and set, and blistering heat burns him and a ferocious wind is swept, and then the grave is tightly compressed. His limbs crack, twist and outstretched, and tremendous pain is conflicting in the ruh that spent his whole life so wretched, and in his mind he thinks this is the worst it can get. Then suddenly a grotesque looking man appears in his stage of unrest. His smell is rank and his clothes are filthy and unkept. "Who are you? For your face is a face there was something that's evil and misled." "I am your evil deeds," is said. "I did not know you, but you were of quick in the Lord's disobedience and quick to transgress." And a lame person is sent with a hammer stronger than lead, that if he hits a mountain it would shatter it into dust finesse, and he pounds the dead until he pulps the wretch. His mutilated body is demolished, and when there is nothing that's left, he's returned to his norm. The same punishment is repeatedly expressed. He withers in torment, he cries, screams and frets, but no human or jinn can hear him withering and upset. And just as he realizes that this is a taste of what is to be summoned and set, he shouts, "My Lord, don't bring me to the hour," as the silent tears are wept. So people are asleep, it's only once they die they're awoken, as your loved ones start to weep and the hearts are finally broken. Tears fall with emotion, but no omens or potent potions can stop your last breath as your words are finally spoken.